What just got it from how? You know, if you start with people's money and it's expensive and you have not gone through the process, the chances of you not making it is almost like 100% because you're going to learn. People will let you down. Things will change. And that's why many times you don't really have to start with loans, and especially if you have never done it before. Because even your own money, you're likely to lose it. Many of us are first one, two, first, second, third businesses. We are going to make a lot of wrong decisions and put ourselves in difficult situations. So if you start with people's money, it's okay. You are not deviating. You have not deviated from the pattern. Now the problem is how to fight back and stand and fight again. And so I would say talk to the people that you owe. The most dangerous ones, try to maybe if you have something to sell and close it. And the other ones who can understand you, negotiate. Maybe they put hold on the interest. And let them know that you're a credible person. You just have a difficult situation. And when they call you, pick. Don't don't put off your phone. If they threaten you with police, tell the police you are not a criminal, you just have a difficult situation. It will build you. You will come out as a better person. And know that is your own negligence that got you into this situation. And if you're disciplined and a bit hardworking, or a bit more hardworking, you come back. You come out of that situation. But always, if you're starting and you don't know anything about it, and you go with people's loan, especially the expensive ones, know that it's certain that you are going to meet challenges. Yeah.
Okay. I think that does it for Seidu. Moba says, I'm in France and I'm a Sierra Leonean, but I'm planning to relocate to Accra and start a mobile phone accessories business. What is your advice?
Derek, for you.
Oh, Senior, this one is for you.
I don't know of the I don't know of the documentations, the migration, those things, but I know a lot of Nigerians are here doing similar things. So I will assume that you're an African, you're West African. If there is any documentation when you come, you can go through it. If you have any idea in business to try, I would say try it. I would say try it because it's a journey, and it's a journey to create wealth. It's a journey to express who you are, what you believe, solve problems in society. And so many of the people that we admire, many of them were in the same situation with us, and the same way. They were doubtful. People will not believe them. They were careful, but they're still there to take the first step. And one thing I've seen about life is if you continue to pour into you, if you continue to develop yourself, especially when it comes to business, then don't be scared to take the first step. So long as you are somebody who's ready to learn.
I also think that the hack to all of this is starting early.
Yeah.
Like today I was doing a video and then I was listing, 7 things that young people can do. Even at 19, 17 years, you can start. Right. Copywriting, social media strategist. The hack is starting early. I think sometimes we peg our targets so high. So you've seen, Derek is into real estate and you are 19 years, you're 20 years, and you are thinking, okay, right, I've seen that huge building you're doing, and that's my target. You struggle to hit that milestone. Really struggle because you have no idea the 20 other small businesses I have done. The ones I started doing when I was in college, selling shoes from China you have no idea. That is the start early we speak about. So the hack is to start early. And the truth of the matter is that no matter how big you think your dreams are, if you break it down and you start small, you can get closer to that big target faster than if you just stay in space and have a big target that, I want to have a logistics company that's doing 20 million and you haven't done anything. Right? Just do something small. Do something small. You're probably better off buying a boboya and riding it yourself or giving it to somebody to ride it, take the income slowly. Within 5 years, you can own a fleet of that.
It's true.
But I think the problem is that our influencers and our mentors are not actually telling us the truth about how to really build wealth.
Yeah.
So young people are setting very unrealistic targets for themselves.
Wow. Yeah, but you see, Derek, your people, they speak English, or you are speaking English. That's the problem with the English speaking. The English speaking, it makes you, sadly, it disconnects you from a lot of realities. If you have read a lot of American books, Western books, their culture is totally different, and so the approach is different. So Aboboya will not be seen in their book. Hibaro will not be seen in their book. Selling chingam on the street will not. Going to the farm to cassava will not be, because these are things that are not in their terrain. So the approach is way above. But society, I think the reality is, look at your position. If your mother has no money to support you, your father has no money to support you, you've just been to school, but you have no support. And so, yeah, you can think as big as you want. Nobody prevents you. But just as Derek said, the first step is key. And many times the first step is just anything that any other person can do. Yeah. Anything that any other person can do. If it's Yokogari, Gary and Beast, that you can start. I say start. You see the thinking that I want something special, and I want a business that looks like me. They are for the rich boys. Look at you. Just that's it. Look at you and say, how is it easy for you to start? Make it very easy for you to start. Sometimes we meet some people and they have written a lot of documents. They are doing elevator pitching or something. I say, how many elevators do you have in Accra? Who are you going to meet them in those elevators? Where? The one at Senate or where? Or moving big? You are at Samanabot, you are talking of pitching somebody in an elevator. I don't know. So many times it's an illusion. Bring it to your reality. Take the first step and be ready to go through the processes and learn. There's a psyche, there's a thinking that we all need to have. If you don't have that kind of thinking, the ability to actually connect your thoughts and your approach to the culture, to the environment, is a good start for almost all of us. So I'm teaching at Kintampo. I'm thinking of starting a business. You are in Kintampo. So what can you start there? Look at Kintampo. Human beings are there. It's different from somebody at East Legon. But people need services. People need products that they can pay for. So I think that's where the challenge many times is. And
it's also gone. Yeah.
No, the school is also part of it. And the more we watch a lot of these international programs, that's another problem.
Yeah, which is true. It's really application of what you learn within your surroundings, right? So it's also important that somebody might listen to you, read one of your books, even though these books are written in the African context, and there are some examples in there that may be more Ghanaian than it may even be African, but they will be able to apply it in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique, purely because maybe that person has the mental capacity to direct their understanding locally.
Okay.
Right. And I think maybe some people sometimes they lack the ability to localize concepts. Because it may not be the understanding may not be rocket science, right? So you can read Think and Grow Rich, you can read Rich Dad Poor Dad, but really the concept, if you can conceptualize it and then localize the concept, then you still be able to make money from it. Because I remember before I finished university, I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad. So when the time came for me to work as a pharmacist, the route I took based on that book was to use a corporation to work and get my employer to pay me through my corporation. Because the book told me that if you work with a corporation, and this is everywhere, it's universal. If you work with a corporation, you pay yourself first before you pay tax at the end of the year. So that means that, I can pay myself first, put every expense that I have, personal expense, even on the business, and pay tax last to the government. But if you work as an employee, before you get your paycheck, they've deducted Senate, they've deducted everything before you get that money. So I took that concept and then localized it.
Okay.
So it depends on how also sometimes some of these people can approach the concept, because you can read Obin Dakon's book, and it can make you money wherever you are.
Derek, listen, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and they say you should go to bank and look for money. I went to the bank.
Yeah.
Didn't get money. So I understand. I think there are a lot of general principles that will apply everywhere, which is perfect. But it's also our cultural consciousness. Because you look at the financial infrastructure, the institutional support, which your idea. If you are not able to bring it to that level, because I know people who started to say, okay, I want to work with other people's money. But these guys were talking of 3%, 5% a year, and you are talking of 5% a month. So even though you want to work with other people's money, at what cost? So if it's too expensive, then you carry the same concept. If you don't pay attention, then you are going to break some legs, if you want. And so, sometimes the cost, other people's money, the system, even the corporations that you're talking of. I don't know how many Ghanaian businesses get tax write-offs from GRA. Antiquia selling cocoa, I don't know. So,
but we were talking about this. I think it was me and Fred, and we said that, you see, these are some of the issues that sometimes locally we as business people we face. The Antioquia you are saying is selling Kusuyanimeko. GRA is not going to bother them. The FDA is not going to bother them. Take that same Kusuyanimeko, package it and put it on our common see.
They don't come for you. Yeah, and they have to come for you because now you want to save the white man. I mean, you have to protect the white man. That's the structure we have. Because when we die, it's okay. But when the international people die, then there's trouble. I think there's that because they will do the test so that they can be accepted. And part of it is the same colonial structure. And so our institutions don't really work to protect the health and safety of the ordinary citizen until it gets to the point where the class people are. Then now they have to pay attention. And so you can sell food on the road and really may not bother many of them. But the moment you go to where people that matter are, now the institution problem has worked. I think we have to deal with it and make sure that the institutions work for all of us, and protect everybody. Than just because it looks like something. The moment it looks like something that some people who are important are. And really, that was the structure they inherited. The structure was designed to protect some people, and we have not deviated from that structure. Because I heard that in some places during the colonial era, you could not even pound fufu.
Wow.
Yeah. Ghana. You will not be allowed to go to some places because the people were there. And so the rule isolated from the people. And it's the same thing that they put here. But in their own country, they did not rule isolated from the masses per se. But here they were special. And so the government structure has picked the same thing, that they have to be somewhere and the people should be somewhere. If you look at the tactics that, some of these forces, whether it's police or military, the training that they gave them is different from the training that they gave their own police and military. And so they have to really make sure that they have even done well trying to accept their own people, because they have to be brutal to take the people, and it's now in the fiber of their culture, So a lot of the things that we inherited, and their dissociation from the masses, come from the way they started it. I think the way they began and the approach. I don't think we have debated.
I still think that now we, as a people, we have the opportunity to make our lives better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have the opportunity to reverse that, to apply new principles, and build ourselves.
That is when you are giving the people different content for them to value their people. If the same content is still being given, I don't think it's going to change until a new content is given to see the value of their own people. But if the same thing is taught, then there's not going to be deviation. Yeah. If you and I went to some place and they said that we were investors and you brought your British friend, they will talk to him first before they talk to us. The content has not improved that much. And so watch TV. Yeah, so I think there is hope for change when the content is improved. Then you can bet on the change. But if you're feeding us the same content, maybe there will be change. I don't know. And so if you look at the things that they're teaching them and their persuasion and the things that they value and respect, it takes them from their, look at Trotro. Do you think we should allow Trotro to carry human beings? I don't think so. I think a lot of the cars should be just taken from the road. They should not take human beings. We should make sure that if you want to do public transport, this is the standard, or you don't do it. Now, do you think no, they won't say that. They will say that if you do it, then the people will not get anywhere. But if you do it, people with money will put them there. But you allow a lot of these things that look like cars, but they are not cars, to carry human beings. Because if you have value for the human beings, then you will make sure that their safety is key. But if you say that, nothing will change, it will happen, they will make noise and it will move on, we go to another one, you have no heart for them. In that case, you're really not committed to improve their living standards. So whatever happens to them is okay. Because it's not you. Then you will not change it. And how can you do that? When you have content to value your own people. Not by lip service, but by policy.
Yeah.
By putting regulations in place to say that, no, these things, we will not allow them. And I think people who can do that would have to have different content than what they have.
Awesome. And there are some questions. It looks like there's some even in the private chat. Have a look at it quickly and then read them for us.
Yes. So Stephen Hammond is asking, why do some people invest heavily in a business yet fail to recover their capital? Is the problem the business itself or the investors' lack of strategy, discipline, and financial understanding? So why
who is he talking about? Is he talking about the person, the investor, or the business owner?
I think he's talking about both of them.
Sorry?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He's talking about who?
I think he's talking about the fact that people can invest heavily in a business but fail to recover their capital. So he's asking whether the problem is the business or the investors' lack of strategy.
Like unless I don't know whether anybody can tell me, but for the past 10 years, I have not known any business that has come out of nowhere. There was nothing like it on the planet, completely novel, that has come out. I have no idea. I don't know for the past 10 years. I can't really tell you. Almost everything that I have seen has been improvement on an existing idea. Just people improving on what currently exists. They've made it better, convenient for the people. My point is that I genuinely believe that every business, any business, can potentially make money. That's what I believe. That any business can potentially make money. It is just expertise for that business may be the problem. So, who is it that is running the business? Who has chosen that as a task to do? And it may not necessarily be the business. So I'm talking on the business person side now. Now, in terms of investment, I've also come to realize that most of the time, and even for the small business owners that I support, I 90% of my decision to support these businesses is based on the founder and not the business idea. Not because I think that business idea is the best on the planet. It's purely because there's integrity in the person. I see them as somebody who has the capacity to run the business. They can make it work. That's why I choose to support. Not because I think that this business is going to be the next Apple. No. So it may well be that there are some investors that invest with this same mindset, that they're investing in the person, but then one way or the other, the business, something doesn't work out, and then they lose money. It happens. But in any business that somebody's lost money, somebody's made money. Yeah. I don't know. My senior man would add his 2 cents. Senior, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yes, fantastic. I'm with you.
Yeah. So let's read the next one.
Gloria says, I am a nurse and I'm into ladies' footwear, handbags, nightwears, and earrings. I want to further my education. What would you suggest I do, please?
Senior, this one they're leaving for you.
Which one?
She says she's a nurse.
Yes.
She's already selling some products, and she wants to further her education.
We like education. We like school certificate, but I think we must also learn how to prioritize life and find a place to put finances and income and prosperity and wealth creation. We see if you are going to school just for acquisition of skill and knowledge without necessarily linking it to your wealth creation beyond salary, then I would say that position your money well. But for you to link, let's say you don't have much now, and you've been able to accumulate 40,000, you have first degree, and you want to use that 40,000 to go, do another second degree, and then wait for somebody to give you a better job, increase your salary, and you're 40 years, I will not take that. I would say that make sure that you pattern your life so that you don't become dependent on anybody in terms of finances. So you can go for your certificates, all right, but don't confuse that with you having a part that a life that you have a say, especially financial in terms of finances. They will send you to the village, and you can't say you won't go, or they will send you to a place, move you from one place to another. You can't say you can't go because you need the money. My desire is that as you get to your adulthood, as you get old in life, nobody should control salary or use money to control where you live, what you eat, which school your children go to. And I don't think certificate can solve those problems. It's you being able to take right decisions with your money.
Wow.
But yeah, they have told us that we have to go to school, and then they put the other side off. I would say that gets to a point, you must separate the two. To build a financial life that you are independent. You can be a nurse and still not take salary because you've been intelligent with your financial decisions and choices. So that when you get on retirement, you're not waiting for state institutions to take care of you. I don't think that is the duty of any person. You must be, you must think of it right from 35 to 40. Where is my financial part? What makes me not susceptible to controls and manipulations? Because people will use money to control you. You know, that's why they shout at you at the workplace and you have nothing to say. And you see a grown-up man with children begging for a job that ordinarily there's no decency in, but he needs the money. Why? Because they have, always thought that somebody else will control or take care of them in terms of finances. I don't think you should put your life in that position. Even if it will bring salary increment, you still have to make sure you position your choices in terms of money so that it goes beyond just salary and its increment. So if I'm 30, I'm thinking of what I can do with some kind of money. Not just go and get a lot of certificates when you still rely on not enough salary. One source of income is not enough and you have accumulated something and you still want to go and get a degree. That kind of thinking, I don't know. But many of us, we love it. And people love that. People with first degree, I'm going to do my master's, and you ask them, do you have any investment? Do you have any asset that gives you money? Do you have any business? No. They're just hoping that once they finish that school, they are being paid 5,000, now they'll be paid 20,000. Who does that? They won't. Your degrees will not just automatically shift. Unless you get political position. Other than that, a lot of the private institutions will not just shift your 5,000 to 20,000 because you have a second degree. No. And money gives you options and freedom. And so you do not.
Usually, when we talk about this, you see some people in the comments. Oh, there's too much emphasis on money. There's too much emphasis on money. What's your view on that?
But we are not talking about Kelewele here. Kelewele. We are not talking about football. When they go and watch football, they are talking about football. That's football. They are discussing football. What we are discussing is money. What do you want to talk about? It's finance. It's finance education. It's business. It's investment. What do you want us to talk about? I don't understand. If you want to talk about antenna, go to marriage and go there. This is money. This is an education. That's the purpose of this education platforms. Is to let people think differently about money and value creation and business. And you are talking about. What else do you want us to talk about? When you're watching Manchester United and Arsenal, what do they talk about? It's football.
I think there's really right. There's a place for every content, and for us, our content is money, understanding financial literacy.
That's right.
So if you don't like it, there's a channel for comedy.
Yes, go there. But when you are young, when rich people are talking about, now I don't talk about this because he's rich. If you are struggling financially, don't talk like that. If you depend on one source of income, you can't pay. You're waiting for somebody to give you rent. Your duty is to make sure that you up your financial education, your skills, the way you think about money and finance and wealth. Because if you don't think differently, you will die poor. And you don't want to die poor. The reason you are struggling is the status of your thinking about all these things. And many people live in denial. And they are happy to beg than to take responsibility. If a rich man is talking about those, it's because he solved it. You have not solved it. And the reason you have not solved it is because you don't have enough skill set to solve it. And so you are the one to pay attention. If you are broke, don't be talking like that. You'll be poor forever.
That's profound. There was a young boy who came. In fact, I think. Hey, should we read questions or why are you guys? There was a young person who came today, and he says that he's realized that a lot of the people who have made money, when they talk about their achievement or trying to give lessons to people, it comes across either overconfidence or arrogance. And then I said that's just paradigm. It's just paradigm. It's just your perception and your set of beliefs about how a person should speak. So sometimes when somebody is speaking, you very quickly translate that to arrogance because of the paradigm. You probably need a paradigm shift.
That's
And,
right.
because what it is that there are some people within this same country who have been brought up with, okay, don't speak, don't talk when elders are here. There are people who have been brought up like that, but there are people too in the same culture who have not been brought up like that. They've been brought up to speak your mind, share your mind. So when these two people meet, one person thinks the other is arrogant, the other person too thinks the other is timid. And it's really just paradigm and how you are viewing these things.
You know, when I finished university, I was doing national service in university. You know, I was doing some other things with my friends. We had hundreds in those days. It was in dollars. You know, we crossed by 24 or 25. I had seen a lot of money. Do you know the things that we had read before that? And I wanted to teach these things, but I kept telling myself, no, I have nothing to show. Because I used that money to do masters and some other things. I did not take good care of that money. So by 28, 25, I had accumulated some money. By 28, by the time that I'd done masters, I'd used major part of it to pay school fees and lost it. And so from 28, 29, 30, now I started again. And these things I'd known them. But I did not have much confidence to teach them. My mind shifted from my 20s. 20, 21, 22, 23, I was thinking differently. And so in our society, if you are waiting to buy 50 jets before you teach these things, you wait forever. You know? And so I say that whatever you know, teach them. Because after all, they have changed your life. And you are enough proof. You are enough proof. And you don't need permission from anybody to teach them. Because after all, they have the people they say that they are successful. Why are they not going there to learn? Why are they here? You know? And the ability to teach these things goes beyond you being able to just build a business. It calls for skill to separate knowledge. To separate knowledge and break the knowledge down so that people can use to build their life. It's a whole skill set. It has nothing to do with I've been able to build $200 billion company. Your passion to see the struggles and pains of people because they don't know much about life, about money, about how to create their own value. That ability to connect those, I think, goes beyond whoever has been able to build just any significant business globally. So it's the things that get your attention and how you want to at least solve them to your level. That will push you to share some of these things. You know, so whenever people put themselves, that's why some people say that, oh, you know, business people should share. No. The fact that a doctor can do surgery does not mean that he can teach in the medical school. No, there are professors who don't go to the theater.
Okay.
You know, so it's a mix of a lot of things: the skill, the passion, the commitment, what they see, the generation that they see, what they want to see change in their lifetime. That's why they share these things. And these things are very technical and profound. For you to, you know, when somebody gives you money, when somebody gives you knowledge, and you're able to build a business with it, it's giving you money. Something beyond money. And that's what we do. Like the other day, you know, when we go to the radio stations and TV stations, anytime I go to any new place, the first 2 sessions, I understand the process. But I guess the 5th, the 7th, they start to tell you, listen, I've been in media for all these years. When I go to town, people don't thank me like the way we started with you. Why? And I tell them, listen, it's one thing to see a musician and thank him for his music, but you're still broke. And it's another thing, you meet us and they tell us the story. Just today, just when I was coming, a young man was sitting somewhere, we were posting parcel, so at the post office. And this guy was just walked me. He spent about 30 minutes. I was just sitting there waiting for Marie. He said, Mr. Ben, I teach in a school here. I finished Winneba University. And I've been watching you on TikTok, just TikTok. He doesn't know about Facebook or YouTube, our books, nothing. And I heard you say that you can start with something. And I did not believe it, but I kept listening. And he showed me the shop that he has started or built from his small salary in his place. He sells these plastic containers and things like that. And he says that I've been able to do this because I was listening. Now I teach all right, but they don't know that I have these things. He's a young man with degrees. I think he has even a second degree. Now, when they meet you, it's beyond just listening to your music. That they dance with their girlfriend. This is something that has changed. Now they're hopeful. He's confident of life. That his future is different. And he says that, they have even brought some postings, but I told the man who showed me that I'm not going to teach for a while. I'm not going to teach for long because I want to expand my business. And so they can give those opportunities to others. He's a young man in his early, maybe 30s or later 20s. And so, listen, what we share, they are life-changing. Like when we were growing up, if some people, I told you I'd make, by 25, if somebody had taught me this, by 30, we will have a lot of wealth. But we were reading a lot of international books and things like that. We did not understand. Especially those of us who are using the G to teach our people. The guy is in the village. He's not gone to any school, but now he's talking about finance. Basic financial skills. He's organizing his finances and his future. And so these are things that we don't play with because many people, the other day my lawyer was telling me that some of the things that you guys are doing, they are generational problems that you're solving. And I think he was right. Our thought patterns, the informations, our confidence, the things that we've been convinced with that don't have any value, that we are shattering, we are breaking a lot of these things down so that people can build with the skills that they have. And so these are things that, listen, some communities, some countries have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And we must also do them and switch the minds of our people so that they can be confident to build their own lives, particularly in their own home country.
That was profound. That was profound. That was profound. Nana, let's go ask questions. There's plenty in the private chat. You're muted, man.
You want others to join video? You can share me the link, then we can share the link here so that few people can also join the video if you want.
I think we've already got 15 people in this in there, so it's full.
In the video.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so in the comments, we have someone asking that he wants Mr. Darko to explain to him why he says investing in the stock market is not beneficial.
Oh.
I remember we had this conversation the other time.
Where did he hear that? Okay, my understanding of Ghana, and I take a position myself. I mean, those of us who were going to school, we didn't have any car. We were not in any car. We walked to school. Your mother is a cocoa seller. Your father is a teacher. A lot of you in those categories, they are the majority. They are about 90% of their young minds. We live in an economy that we need jobs created. If I put all my money in the stock market, I get returns. I have money in terms of, I have returns on money. But what else in the society am I solving? Our critical problems in our society is for people to put their life, make their life relevant and solve business problems. If you look at these foreigners, if all of them were putting their money in the stock market and not opening businesses, what will be our economy? We have a lot of our big people whose only interest is buy treasury bills and get interest and forget about the rest of the people. I think we cannot think like that because our problems are different. And so if you have created some problem, if you have solved some of these problems and you want to use your money for stock market, no problem. But it's not just about money. It's just like buying gold and keeping it and the value goes up and you make your money. If you make the money, what problems are you also solving? We have a country to build. If you look at any industry in our country, look at those who are the forerunners. It's likely that they are foreigners. You think they can make money from the stock market? The people who are building these malls, the banks, those who are building all these high-rising, technology companies, you think they can make money? They can sit somewhere and make money from the stock market and forget about whatever is happening? No, they think far beyond that. There's a section of the economy that we must own. And so if you put all our money in these government bonds and things like that, then we are not creating the future that we want. And others who have proper understanding will then take over the economy. So I say, young man, you can do that if you want, but think beyond that. Which sector of the economy are you becoming powerful? The other day, Alhaji Dangote was saying that if he had put some of his money in the stock market and not do anything, it probably would be worth 3 or 4 times what he's worth now. My passion is the development of Nigeria, development of Africa. It goes beyond money. So if somebody of his caliber is thinking as such, and you small boy, you have just started life, all that you want to do is put your money in the stock market and enjoy. Is that all that you want to do? Because you want to go and chill. 25 years, you have retired from working because stock market something is working for you. There should be sense of purpose. Somebody fought for our independence. People laid their life so that we will live. Your interest should not just be about you getting money for yourself. Solve relevant societal problems. That is what you will be known for. Nobody will remember you because you had a stock value making money for you. People will remember you because you built hospitals, you built factories, you built banks, you built technology companies. Not the one that you're getting. So if you want to go to the stock market, go and float your company shares there. Mobilize money and build bigger. Then we are thinking. But just go and get 100,000 and put it there and move around and buy a car. It's just a matter of time. All right. Look at this Chinese building all these malls. You think they don't know what you know? They know, but they know that. And the stock market, somebody is worrying if they're deciding whether they made profit or not. But they take their salary. I say that the investment that you have to get involved in is the investment that you have a say to say that I'm calling the shot. This is my money. I'm not doing it again. And you decide how the money is spent. You have control and you understand the game. Apartments that we have built, we collect the rent. They don't tell us that we didn't make profit. We can't say that. It is we decide. But I remember I bought some shares. They said that we didn't make anything. The money that I had, the value was dropping. I don't think for Africans we have to think. I'm not against it, but I think a lot of us should look beyond just making money for ourselves, and we should look at taking a lot of the positions that we need to take as a people. The wealth of our country is not going to be built by foreigners. They can invest in our country, but we must be the drivers.
Yeah.
So we cannot raise a generation to only think of comfort. No, we must make sure we have generation that are building. They are builders. Builders. So
okay.
It's okay.
So
but the main game.
Okay, so
no, hold on 1 second.
okay.
Yeah. That was a good one, Senior. But I know we've spoken about this one before. I think, we've spoken about this before. We've had a long conversation. Just mind you, sometimes we can end up speaking on the phone for 1 hour. We're just talking, right. And I take a lot of counsel from him. There was a day I had so much going on the night before. And luckily for me, when I came to the studio, you had come around. We had a great chat and it relieved a lot of things from my head. But anyway, so on the 9th of September, remember we have the Ghana Business Masterclass. That's next week, Friday, is it? Harrison,
Yes,
is it
that's
next week Friday?
30th of April.
Yeah, next week Friday we have the business masterclass happening. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, guys, drop the link in the comments. I don't know whether you can pin it or something so people can get their tickets for the online masterclass. So wherever you are, all those people in Mozambique, Tanzania, Nairobi, yeah, you can grab your ticket, GhanaBusinessMasterclass.com. It's next week, but we only have about 15 minutes left here. So if I know my senior man, he can stay. He likes life. He can stay here until for the next 4 hours. But we have 15 minutes left. Most likely we will come back tomorrow. But grab your ticket for the masterclass. I think senior man is doing a presentation on a few things. I'm doing a presentation on a few things as well. We're going to talk about the businesses in Ghana, some of the things you can do. I'm going to focus on that and the content strategy to grow your business and all of that. You know, some of the principles that I've applied over the years. Ben Darko is going to do the same as well. So drop the link. Guys, have you dropped the link in the comment? It's pinned where? In the really? Where is it pinned in the chat? Where is the link pinned in the chat? You people, are you okay? Nana, where is the link in the chat for the masterclass? And we are releasing an episode tomorrow at 6 a.m. on Spotify and Apple. Where is it? You might not be able to pin it. Okay. So if you've already got your ticket for the masterclass, you can just drop it in the comments that you have. If you haven't, then we got it here. How do you pin it? You can't pin it. But yeah, that's the link. You pinned it on YouTube? Awesome. So GhanaBusinessMasterclass.com. Grab a ticket. All right. Yep. Nana, what's the next question? So I think we're taking 2 more questions before we are out. My eyes are red. I can see Senior Man's eyes are red too.
Yes. So Alien on Earth is asking, what do you think about setting boundaries in business transactions? He's a uni student who runs a web design agency remotely. And he says he's kind and polite, and this has made his old clients think they are doing him a favor. So how does he set boundaries?
Sina, you want to take this one?
Derek, this one is for you.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna make it simple and sweet. Out of a lot of people I've met, I think I'm really good at setting the boundaries clear, and making people know what is up, you know, what they can do and what they cannot do. It's important because I have come to realize that too much liberty for people. In fact, one of my mentors told me this. He says that all virtues are important. So being patient, being kind, being loving, you name it, everything, right, is important. But the problem with a lot of us is that you must have a threshold for that. And once you go beyond the threshold, then people start seeing you as a fool. They start walking over you. So if you really want your message to drop well and for people to take you serious, they must know their limit. Because human beings, we like to take liberty. And this applies everywhere. As a matter of fact, even for your mom, there is a way you speak with your mom. And if you make the phone call to your mom right now and you start insulting her, you've crossed that boundary. You've crossed it, and she's gonna be very crossed with you. No matter how nice the person is, no matter how relatable the person is, there's always a I don't know. There's always a mental boundary between you, the things you can say, the things you cannot say, your wife, your husband. There is always a boundary. But the problem is that when it comes to business, because it's transactional, sometimes people struggle with this. And what you can't do, if you cannot do it, don't allow people to take you for granted. Because the truth is that it's going to cost you more. It's going to cost you more. For me, I don't joke with, what I can accept and what I cannot accept. It's very important to me. And maybe that may come from, having a really high level of, self-respect or self-importance. I don't know what it is, but I just expect people to behave a certain way and speak a certain way and treat me the way I treat them. And if I'm not getting that back, forget it. Yeah.
Well, oh God, sorry.
Interesting. You mentioned church. So today I called one of my pastors. He's actually one of my mentors. And this morning, early morning, my conversation with him was very simple. We see a lot of Ghanaian churches go global, right? And I don't want to mention names because if I mention names, I'm in trouble. But when I'm in the UK, I see Ghanaian churches in the UK, but I don't see Ghanaian businesses go global. Why? Why do we have, such a thing? And he gave me some really interesting points that he was talking about. Really interesting points. But it's all to do with how we've accepted that, how we've accepted religion as a way and how we treat things of God and how much we are scared of some of our pastors. But then when in our businesses and the businesses that we employ to work in, some people, don't treat it that way. So it doesn't allow the business to grow and then to expand globally. I thought that was very interesting view. Yeah.
And the other thing I think is that business will bring prosperity to Africans. Church does not bring prosperity. And so the hindrances are not much, because that's the game. I mean, anywhere that you have allowed us to play is because it really does not make us pay attention to our resources. Because they are coming for your gold, your diamond, your oil. I mean, church is not competing with gold and oil. They are not training you to go and fight for the gold in your village and be the miner. And so, if your businesses are buoyant, then your resources will be in your hands. And so, I think structurally, a lot of these things are the technology you need, the financing you need, the open. There's not much control when you want to spread church globally. But there's some bit of control when you want to spread wealth that will impact Africa.
Right.
Because then you take ownership of your own resources. So I think that could also be part of it.
I have a big conversation coming up based on that, and it's going to upset a lot of people. It's going to upset a lot of people. Maybe I'm going to release in the next 3 weeks, but okay. I've had a serious discussion on that with a Nigerian young pastor on this, which I think is a big problem because we have some church institutions, even in Ghana, that employ the likes of big international accounting firms to look at their books. So that means that the back door, some of them are running it as a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nana, can you read the next question? This matter there, if we talk about it, that they
want
trouble. Yes. So Nana Boachesapon says, "Hello, sir. Please, I'm a 24-year-old young man, and I have 40,000 Ghana cedis. I am intending on using that money to get a car for a transport business. What do you think about it?"
And how did you make that money? I'm not saying it's not legit, but how did you make that money? However you did to make that money, carry on if it's legit, right? If it's legit, carry on. Carry on. Turn that money into $1 million. After $1 million, then you can spend a bit of that money to buy transport. I always say that, we must not be too quick to diversify because that has killed a lot of businesses. The trick really is that I'm really good at telehealth services. Like if you give me time, I have pharmacies across Europe that I work with. I can have 10 telehealth services running at the same time because I know that business. I know it very well. So I just keep honing in on that to make sure I milk it. All of a sudden, I start going into real estate, and I'm doing real estate in Ghana, and I'm sweating to bits because it's a new terrain. It becomes like a whole new business for me. So I always say that what you know how to do and how to make money, milk it. Like, just milk it if it's legit. Just don't be too quick to go and buy a car, because the transport business, you have no clue how that works. It may work for you, but if you don't have enough money and it starts going bad, it's gonna take all your time and all your money. There was this guy that used to buy a lot of medications from us at wholesale. He was somewhere in Kwabenya. He was the first Ghanaian I'd worked with. He paid his checks very quickly, and he cleared on time. There was a day I called him and I said, "Senior, like, what you're doing for my business is fantastic, and I would want us to increase the business." One day I sent him stock. I think that stock was about 100,000 or between 80 to 100,000. All of a sudden, he was struggling to pay the money. And I'll tell you why he was struggling. He wasn't picking up phone calls. It was becoming difficult to reach him. Eventually, he picked up the call. And then I said, "Charlie, what's been happening?" And he says, "Charlie, I'm sorry. I started building some properties." And I said, he's killing the business. He's killing the chicken that lays the eggs. He's just taking money from the business that was working. So don't be too quick to diversify. Don't.
Yeah, it's true. Perfect. If you're not strong in that, you see, these models that's why I try to bring it to our reality. Some people have value. They have cheap money. You don't have. So protect the one that you have.
Yeah.
Because if you lose it, it's trouble. But I don't know. I mean, all over the world, somebody said that. Who builds business with their money? Except the Africans. These other guys don't build business with their money. It's bank money. It's investors' money. They don't go into real estate with their money. It's bank money. We don't have that. So if you are in Ghana and you have 200,000, your business is doing well, and you don't pay attention to it, and you want to joke with it, when you lose that, it becomes difficult to build it as fast as. So, but when you say that, because you want to own a house, live in a house, to say that is successful, and that has killed a lot of dreams.
Hey, look, I have, and I'll say this here. I called Desmond this week. I think we have 2 properties with Desmond. One of them is an HMO, like a flat-ish property where several people can live in it. And then I was just on the phone with him and I said, "Look, I think we should sell these 2 properties." And he goes, "Why?" And I said, "Look at what is happening. I mean, he's not making us enough money. And all these things, these wars and stuff, we are better off creating a website and putting doctors on there and dispensing medications than, keeping it in these properties so that it just looks cool, that, we own properties." And that's some of the mistakes that we've made from, diversifying in areas where we think, okay, we are building wealth, because we've come to understand that if you build a house, then you are wealthy.
Yeah.
That's how some people look at it.
If
you build a house, then you are wealthy. Look, one of my properties in Ghana, Senior, I've converted it to an Airbnb apartment. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But sometimes, especially for some of our people that live in the diaspora, they will come and build a 7-bedroom very quickly. It will take them 15 years to build that house. Then by the time they are ready to come and live in it, they are sick, diabetes, hypertension, or you name it.
We don't understand the game. We don't understand the game. How can you have 2 jobs and be building 7-bedroom house here? That is not a hotel. You can't work 2 jobs. Somebody said that they have money. I said, if you have money and you can't quit your job, you don't have money.
Love it.
There's no rich man who cannot live, who depends on salary. Now, so long as you need the salary, you still have a lot to structure. So the fact that you have come to build a house in Ghana and you're still working 3 jobs, You are just at the survival stage. You are not wealthy. The wealthy man can walk off every income and still be okay. Because the structure is different. A lot of our people, our definition of finance, of financial success, of wealth, of freedom is upside down. If you have 2 jobs and you need salary, it doesn't matter how the house that you have built, the car that you drive, you are far from wealth.
Yeah.
You clock in. All the people that they mention their name, they don't have to get up and go to work to eat. So it's not even in how much pay you receive. It's in how much you can go without pay. Then you have structured your things well. And so your biggest amount is in a house that does not bring you any returns. How can you be financially intelligent like that? It's not. The most expensive thing you have does not give you any money. And you say you're rich. Every one of these guys that we call rich, their best investments bring them money. That's why they're wealthy. Their best factories, their best hotels, their best hospitals, their best businesses continue to return money. That's why they are rich. The average person, his biggest investment is in a house. That brings him money.
Yes.
And
then when they die, their children will come and sell it and go away.
Yeah.
This happens all the time.
Yeah, we don't understand the numbers. No.
I had friends whose mom came to build a big property somewhere in Hacho. The woman died after 2 years. They came to sell it and took the money back abroad. No, sell it quick and took the money abroad. They see no value. This is something the woman has worked for so much when she... Anyway.
But it's the financial education. I personally think that if you are working, you have a job, make sure that anything that you have significant money in must work more than you working for a job or for salary. That thing must make more money monthly than you make money.
Yeah.
And that's your target.
Because the point is to become independent. Yes, the point is that you want to get to the place where you can quit your job, replace that income.
And leave. Yeah. You can't work all your life, 70 years, you're still waiting for salary to eat.
Unless people are genuinely telling us that they enjoy the job that they are doing, and right,
they need the salary. Once you need the salary, you don't enjoy it. Let's face it. Because if they don't pay, they won't go. If they don't pay you and you can still go, we can agree. Then that's perfect. But if they don't pay you and you get angry and you go, it's the money, not the job. And so you can restructure how you have, put your money somewhere so that at least they start to make. A gentleman called me the other time. He said that he works in England. He has a property in Ghana, and it was there. Some people were in it. He started listening to us. He sessioned them, rented them out, and he's made 100,000 for the first time from that property that is kept for all these years, and now he's expanding it. There are some of them who decided to even build apartments. Said that now they come to Ghana, they don't come with money. Because every heavy investment that they have had in Ghana now brings them some kind of income. I think that should be the goal. You should not have significant money sit somewhere and you are 65 years working 2 jobs. No, financially you are not. Money must buy you freedom. And freedom is you controlling your time. If money does not get you freedom, then it's no money. You must have a say. There's no rich man who will sit down and let you insult them. They will get up.
The saddest part as well is that every time they are coming back to Ghana, before they come, they have to come and do painting, cleaning. They have to come and manage the property before they come and stay in it. Every month, the house boy that is staying in the house, they pay electricity. The people abroad, they pay the electricity.
Yeah.
When something happens, the door is broken. The house boy will call them.
This one is for rich people. There are rich people with a lot of houses, they don't need them because they still have a lot of wealth. But you with 2 jobs at 65 and you paint a house for a young man to live in and pay electricity, that's why you are, your system is breaking down because you overwork. to keep something that does not have to be kept. In the name of you looking rich, there are no rich people. If you see a rich man, you know. If you see a rich woman, you know. It's not the house they live in. Rich people, they know because they have peace. They don't worry about bills. Rent is coming, electricity, winter is coming, I have to put off the heat. If you are talking in terms of those, no, you're not there. So don't tell us you're rich. You're not rich. You're trying. You're trying. And a lot of them can restructure and have allowance. A lot of them can do that. There's this young girl who called me the other time. No, sent message. She said that for the first time she made 30,000 in Ghana. And do you know what she did? She was building. She put that building on hold, bought a boboya for his brother, and that boboya is working. And now she's making income. Now, if she's able to get at least 10 of them and they manage them well, she can build that house without bringing any money from.
Exactly.
So that you cannot relax. You can relax. You can sleep. Another man said that he's built an apartment and now he rents all of them and lives in one whenever he comes to Ghana. Some of us, our mansion, we didn't have to build it the time that we built them. We needed to have allowance, freedom, before we would own mansions. Wealth is in stages. Wealth in stages. 10-bedroom house, you have no income generating asset anywhere. No cocoa farm, no business, no factory. 10-bedroom house, and you are working 3 jobs. It's upside down. So
you only live in that. You only live in that house maximum 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
How many? 10 years. How many times did they come to
Ghana? So it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I would say that they should turn them into guest houses, into Airbnb, into hotels, into rental properties.
Because you only need one room. One room. You just need one room to sleep. One room.
Yes. So that you can be free. You don't have to send money to Ghana again. That can take care of your family here. But it's the same knowledge. Financial knowledge is not as available as we think it is.
Yeah.
It's not. If it were, many people will not be caught with credit card debt. If you mortgages, a lot of them will not. You can build anyway. I'm buying a house at £100,000. I have 20%, which is £20,000. If you do, just go to China and bring goods and sell them. This 20,000 will become million. It's not for house deposit. By the time you are in 10 years, you'll be a millionaire. But you go and put it in the house and hope that it multiplies in 5 years by 3 or something. And people don't understand this. Many people, not only us, globally, people don't understand how they can create their own freedom because the financial information is not available. So they have fear. They live in fear than taking the part to create their own financial freedom.
Wow. Senior, thank you. The masterclass is next week, Friday.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to be private. It's not going to be open to everyone. So the people who have paid for the masterclass are the people that are going to show up. They will receive the links for the conversation. And this is not how it's going to be. It's actually it's a proper teaching session, an online teaching session. So if you haven't gotten your ticket, it's GhanaBusinessMasterclass.com. GhanaBusinessMasterclass.com. Well, we're going to leave it here and go and relax because we most likely will come back here and speak on a few things tomorrow. So if you've been here from the beginning, thank you so much. If you've just joined us, thank you so much. My senior man, Kwabena Obendako, I really appreciate you. And thank you. Thank you for your time, senior.
Can they have number if the other one is not working? Can they have a number that they
Yeah, senior, please, can you give me a number? Senior, please give me a number. I beg you, give me a number.
Okay, so 0540
0540
9095. They can
05
0540
40
94
94
90
90
95.
95.
My name Kwabena Obendako.
Okay, and the name is Senior Man Kwabena Obendako. Doctor Engineer.
No, doctor.
The way this engineer legend. I'm like, yo. Yeah. So you guys can pick the number up, and then you can make your payment, and we'll catch up again. Senior, take care of yourself, and my regards to the family as well.
Thank you, Eric.
All right. Senior, how do I end this one? Should I just click end stream and we know that?
Put anointing oil on
it. Somebody just joined.
You go to the end, and then you go to the bottom. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.